Hey, we're Dice and we're here chatting with Milky.
Today we're going to be chatting through some of our favourite moments from the album.
I think we should start off with probably our unanimous favourite song off the album called Masquerade. Masquerade or Masquerade? Yeah, Masquerade. Oh my god. This song was, I think, one of the biggest stepping points during the recording process, where we kind of got that grasp of where we wanted to go with this sound of music and kind of elevating from what we've previously known as surf indie rock into more of genre fluid blend. It was a really fun time recording this process as well, because we had so many different parts of the song, but we didn't know how to piece them together. So when we actually got in the studio and fleshed it out and started to build it up, it was a really dynamic and organic way of making this track that we kind of just felt so strongly about. And the greatest thing about it is that the ending riff, which was the kind of driver of the song, was the last thing we actually wrote. So once it got created, it was just this kind of sense of release and sense of pride and excitement that we actually had something that really was a statement about what this kind of new era of Dice was going to be.
And it's probably the most rock and roll track on the album. It's the most drum and guitar heavy, where we sort of really got to experiment with expanding the boundaries of sort of the sounds we'd used before, and we put some synth and stuff in there and did our first time signature change for the bridge. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be super fun to play live, and I reckon everyone's really looking forward to it.
I reckon we should go with maybe the first song that we wrote, which was Sunrise. If you want to talk about that?
Yeah, Sunrise, the meaning behind it kind of explores grief and ways of dealing with grief. It's a bit of a juxtaposition, considering it's a bit of a happy sounding song, but it's got a deeper meaning. It kind of did relate to our personal experiences with grief, and I love the way that the track is so happy and everyone kind of can just listen to it and see that surface level, but then when you really listen to the lyrics, it goes into a lot more deeper meanings. So yeah,
the biggest thing about it was how it was about grief and coping with loss, especially as a young adult. But I think the way it was quite a heartwarming, light, fun, fast song was kind of a bit more sense of hope and sense of that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's definitely a positive way forward, and that's what we kind of wanted to emphasize with this song. Next song, I think we should do maybe Midnight Zoo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Title track.
Midnight Zoo, or as we all call it, Grapes. I think it's probably the first. It feels weird calling it actually Midnight Zoo. It was the first track we got vocals down on in the album, and it was this real special night, universally called the Grapes Night, and it was this turning point in the album where we finally found the direction of where we wanted it to go. I think it was before Masquerade had come together, any of the other songs had really pieced together, and it was just this moment of the vocals were in, the track was more or less done, and we had this finally cohesive we all know which way we want to take the album, which up until that point it was a bit up in the air. No one really knew what we wanted to do.
Especially with Midnight Zoo, before we recorded that vocal track that night, I was anyway, I don't know about you guys, was a bit overwhelmed with the start of the album, that process beginning, because it is such a big project and it's hard to know where to start, really. We had little things we pieced together, but the bulk of the work was still to come, and that was the first track that we were wow, okay, that's going to be on the album. We had made riffs and choruses or whatever beforehand, and they weren't solidified in the album, but that was the first song we were all right, that's in. And it definitely boosted our confidence. So yeah, I think that's also a reason why it is the title track. It kind of just sums up the whole album itself.
I might just talk about my personal favourite track. It was the first track we've ever done on piano, and it's the first time we've actually incorporated strings into a song, which was, I think, one of our biggest milestones was just getting strings into a song. It's called Someday. It's the 5th track off the album. It's all about sacrificing everything else in your life to pursue your one kind of passion, which for us it was music. And parallel to what the album's about our personal experiences and the time that we've taken and the experiences we faced during the recording process of the album. It's about how sometimes, especially in relationships, you kind of have to make sacrifices, and this song's about realizing and acknowledging those other parts in your life and knowing that sometimes you have to take time away from them and pursue your career, but also making sure that you're still putting in the effort to do everything else in your life and making sure that you're not almost putting all your eggs in one basket, making sure that you're having a happy, healthy life. And I think it was quite an important track because it was something that probably affected all of us at some point in the last couple of years. And I think the way that it was on piano and strings made it a really nice, beautiful composition and a breath of fresh air mid-album. And I think a lot of our fans might be surprised about us releasing a track like this. After all, our top 5 tracks are fast surf rock ballads. But I think it kind of shows the diversity of our music taste, and I think it opens up to a lot of different music in the future and maybe even a country album in a couple of years. Yeah. Final track, what do you want to do? Quick to judge?
Yeah.
Or dancing.
I think we should do Dancing, which is Dancing in Darkness, which is the first track off the album. It was a track that I had as a voice memo with me in the car going, it was humming the guitar riff going like, dee-nee-nee-nee-nee. It was really chaotic and it was kind of tragic, and it'll probably get resurfaced in a couple months. But it was something that we've sat on for probably a year and a half. The song was about how sometimes people can open, like everyone, no matter who they are, what kind of position they're in, can always have their own insecurities, and sometimes you can hide it and sometimes you can't. And I think it's kind of acknowledging that everyone's human and no one is better or worse than anybody else. It's about how in the song it takes place in like a nightclub or a dance floor or something like that, where kind of everyone's experienced some form of almost like stage fright or a bit of self-doubt. It's about how someone can be walking in and might think that everyone's watching them or looking at them if they're dancing or anything like that. And it's about opening up about your insecurities and making sure you're having fun yourself and not worrying about what others think of you. And if you want to talk about the music side,
It's definitely my personal favourite. Took a while getting Hodgie to work on it. A bit of arguments there. Only because it was like a different style of music we've done before. It's the first song we've done that's not just got a lyrically driven chorus, like it's an instrumental driven. So getting Hodge to flip his process on his head, instead of writing lyrics and then building music around it, going, Hodge, here's the music, we're not fucking changing it. Ooh, don't know if I can say that. We're not changing it. Work around it. So it was difficult for him, but he pulled through and still managed to come up with some killer lyrics. So
Yeah, so as Regan was saying, it was like all the music was there and then lyrics needed to be done over the top. But we sat on that for so long, just having an instrumental song, and that in itself was like something that us three anyway were so excited about, because it sounded so strong before the lyrics were there, which is kind of like, it's weird because we'd always based it around Hodgie's vocals and kind of like tried to accentuate what he had already there. But yeah, it was definitely a different writing process, bit of a Frankenstein song.
I would personally say Adele.
The Killers.
At the moment, Nothing But Thieves. Surprise, surprise.
Hard to say. Probably Arctic Monkeys.
Fred again.
Flume. I don't know.
The 1975.
Dan Auerbach from Black Keys.
Brad Paisley.
Oh, Brad Paisley.
AM by the Monkeys.
Ooh. Yeah, I would say Hot Fuss.
Breakfast in America.
Yeah, best album ever, Breakfast in America by Supertramp.
I would love to do
Hangover 4.
Hannah Montana.
Yeah, Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana for sure.
Huh? Miley Cyrus.
Oh, that's actually really hard. I can't think of anything. Oh, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That's a good question. I'm gonna go back to Nothing But Thieves again.
Spice Girl.
Spice Girl.
Spice Girl.
Lanky Spice.
Sloth Spice.
Short Spice.
Shit. Spicy Spice.
We played Groove in the Moo.
Splendor. Actually, yeah, someone like Dua Lipa who could put it like a nostalgic pop twist on one of our songs would be really cool.
Probably at the moment it's Enmore, I think. We're sort of hoping that in the next 12 months that'll be something we can hit.
I don't think I've ever stepped foot on a karaoke stage unless it's to sing Brad Paisley.
This is the end. What is that? Count to 10. I don't know. What is it? Yeah. Oh no, it's the yeah, Skyfall. Yeah. Skyfall.
Well, yeah, we did watch a documentary recently, but yeah, Strokes.
That's a good one. Just keep having fun. Don't forget that that's what it's about.
Yeah, not sure. Before, I'd played in a few bands before, but nothing serious, like just school bands and stuff. But I think it was from probably about the third jam we ever had. We're like, yeah, why not? Why not? Let's give it a shot. Give it a crack.